say the leaders will follow my lead. Follow my lead. Follow my lead. I say they're made. Let's go. King of the free world, leader of this whole thing. That's how I feel when I'm running with my whole chain. We used to shake them dice in the crap game. I'm still hustling, homie, but I switch lanes. Now these boys are chilling in my blind spot. I don't look over my shoulders, I'm self-taught. I don't run from nobody, I face them and walk. Don't really ask what it costs when you getting guap. Don't chase money, make money. I'm a hustler, and you're not a fanboy, you're a customer. Never stand in another man's shadow. Blaze my own trail, I'm not afraid to fail. I'm a leader.
I don't know, I'm sitting here dealing with legal crap, because apparently sitting here talking shit about Tom Brady, apparently it's a bad thing. I actually have here a certified letter, certified, no less, certified letter from a fan club calling themselves We Heart Brady. And I'll actually get to this in a second. I kind of want to basically get it all out in the system. I'm kind of sick. Not physically sick, not like flu, pneumonia, stomach flu sick. I'm sick of the fact that basically we're getting the same shit thrown in our faces, shoved down our throats by the likes of UFC and WWE. Now, I'd like to take you to a trip down memory lane. The Diaz brothers have literally been a thorn in Dana White's side for years. True, fact. They have been penalized for basically positive drug tests. True, fact. John Jones is apparently Dana White's personal ass buddy. That's the only way I can look at it. It's the only way I can understand how in the world a guy who gets caught for partying like a rock star before a title defense against one of the most dangerous wrestlers in the business and not be penalized for it. I mean, let's be as realistic as possible, folks. There's got to be some hidden agenda here. As much as Dana White wants to sit here and try to make excuses for John, it's almost like Dana White is basically Mrs. John Jones. He has to be. That's the only way I see fit that basically you will allow a champion to A, keep his title, B, continue fighting, C, check himself out of rehab after less than 24 hours. Thank you for that, Mama Jones. And D, and this is probably the most important, not even penalize him. No suspension, no fine, no strips, no nothing. Basically just run off like nothing's ever happened and get him ready for his next title defense. Which makes no fucking sense. But this is Dana White. He hasn't really made sense since basically that big impromptu speech about step up, nut up, or shut up in the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. And what have we had to do so far? We saw him basically part ways with Spike, saw him part ways kind of with FX, and then he goes to Fox Sports 1, and they're still the same shit. John Jones, this one's for you. You need to lose that title for one simple reason. Because you're not worthy of it anymore. I don't care what your little light heavyweight buddies want to say. I don't even care what your camp wants to say. I don't give a shit. Bottom line is, you did drugs. You're supposed to be a role model for all these young kids striving to be the best. And you did drugs. You're supposed to be that guy that's supposed to be clean all the fucking time. You're supposed to be that guy, but you did drugs. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no, and I love how days after this all happens, they actually said, the commission that actually does this, the drug test, that they made a mistake. Now I'm wondering how much Dana White paid them to say that. I'm wondering how much Dana White paid the judges to make sure that Cormier did not walk out of that octagon as gone as champion. I'm even wondering just how much he jerked off John Jones after John Jones basically gave him the biggest stiffy in the world. A huge raging clue, no less. Now, he's not the only one that's basically on the shit list. John Elway, you're on the shit list too. I never thought I'd see a day where I have multiple shit listers, but apparently this week is different. Here we are on Friday, and let's see how the week has played out for the Broncos. They choke on Sunday, which they did on their own. Less than 24 hours later, John Fox relinquishes his power and divorces the Broncos. 72 hours later, he's now about to become the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Funny. I thought the Bears had balls. They go for the biggest pussy. If you're expecting John Fox to bring the Windy City a Super Bowl championship, it ain't going to happen. Living proof. When he was with the Panthers and when he was with the Broncos, the guy can't get it done. But, of course, I'm sure Jim Rome will do his little shtick later about unbelievable. This was a great, great acquisition by the Bears. Chicago is right now the front runner to basically represent the NFC against Seattle in next year's NFC Championship game. Wow, that is huge. Really, you fuckhole? All I can say is that I feel bad for everybody who still continues to watch the sport, both UFC and pretty much the NFL, because with so much controversy surrounding everything, Cowboys and Packers, Ravens and Patriots, I can honestly say this is actually kind of depressing. Not only is it depressing, but it's kind of sad watching the playoffs get tarnished by controversy, starting all the way from the wild card and going all the way into the Super Bowl. But it's okay, because somebody's got to sit here and take the brunt of it. But I guess it has to be it could be Goodell Castro, because he's the one who's supposed to keep these guys in check and hasn't done a good job of it, and this is what happens. Which kind of brings us up to the ending. WWE, you're on the shit list too. A couple of weeks ago, John Cena reneged on his promise, his guarantee that the Authority will not be back, and literally 14 days into their reign, we know Dolph Ziggler's gone, Eric Rowan's gone, Ryback's gone, fired. Storyline or not, this is just the same shit we've dealt with before. Now, literally just a couple of weeks away from the Royal Rumble, and WWE's going in circles. So, which means that if I'm planning this right, I should see a revolution going on Monday night. I should see all superstars surrounding the ring with John Cena and possibly somebody else in the ring demanding the reinstatement of all three superstars, or they're walking. It's kind of hard to do a show when the only ones that will be there are the ones that kiss your ass. Just a thought. So I should not be too surprised that I'll see the Rock and Sock connection somewhere in the midst of it. I wouldn't even be surprised if I see the Rock on Monday night, picking up where he left off from that one, and even throwing himself in the midst for the Royal Rumble as well, because quite frankly, that's how predictable this shit has become. But on the lighter side, Daniel Bryan is officially back in WWE. Had two big matches on SmackDown last night. That's right, Thursday night is now SmackDown night once again, making room for Impact Wrestling to own Friday nights. Let us know tomorrow. And if last Wednesday was any indication, WWE need better pull something out of their ass between now and the Royal Rumble, and even at the Royal Rumble, because right now Impact Wrestling owns your asses, and they've only had one show on their new network, which is Destination America. It will premiere tonight. Big match already signed. Eric Young versus Bobby Roode, former world champion Bobby Roode. And the reason he's former world champion is because Eric Young turned around and stabbed him in the back. And in case you were missing anything, Lashley is once again the world heavyweight champion. So, I guess in some instances, you want to throw some curveballs at people? How's this? Low-Key and Samoa Joe joined MVP's little group, and now Lashley kind of looks like a certified genius, while MVP just kind of looks like a puppet master. I digress, though. So, Raw, from what I'm understanding, sucked, with the exception of Dean Ambrose's little snippets with his therapy session. I heard those were pretty awesome. In fact, it was hard to hold up on the laughter during those little during those segments. So good job, Dean. You brought the audience back. So I guess this brings up to the big one. Oh, and I guess congratulations to Ohio State for winning the national championship, blah, 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 blah. Nobody fucking cares. It's Ohio. Come on, people. They needed something to smile about. And it's like they're going to win it next year. Have you seen Ohio State's schedule? It's sad. No, it's not even just sad. It's pathetic. Because Ohio State has the easiest powder puff schedule on the planet. If you don't know what their schedule looks like, don't worry. Tune in to the end of this week's broadcast, and you can see Ohio State's schedule in its entirety. Only one game on there I feel is going to be the most dangerous, and that's Urban Meyer versus Jim Harbaugh, Ohio State versus Michigan, the rivalry to end all rivalries. It's probably the only one on there that actually looks like it may cause a little bit of a panic mode. But right now, the NCAA has made it almost legitimately confirmed that they want Ohio State to repeat as national champs, and that schedule pretty much proves that. So, move out of that way, let's get to the picks. Now, last week wasn't as good as the week before. I mean, we were 3-1 last week, 2-2. Oh, sorry, 3-1 2 weeks ago, 2-2 last week. And honestly, I thought Baltimore was going to get it done. I was a fool for that, and I thought Denver was going to show up. Apparently, Denver left their breakfast at home. All that being said, my picks for probably one of the biggest Super Bowls in history, because either way you look at it. On one side, you got Indianapolis versus New England. Indianapolis has never been able to sit here and get over the hump when it comes to New England. Even when Peyton Manning was the quarterback, Andrew Luck has not fared any better. In fact, Andrew Luck hasn't even won a game against Tom Brady and the Pats. Now, the pretty boy obviously is still a little pissed off because of the fact he got poked in his little eye and got a little boo-boo. Have you ever seen wrestling there, Jack? I heard your little comments earlier about how you can't even do that in wrestling. Have you met Roddy Piper? Have you met Ric Flair? Hell, have you met Triple H? Living proof. This shit does happen in professional wrestling, you dumb shit. Hell, I've even got poked in the eye and didn't whine that fucking much. Anyway, on the other side, you have Green Bay and Seattle, which is a rematch of a rematch of a rematch. Now, I don't think there's going to be blowouts in either one of these games. Both of these games will be nail-biters. The confidence is oozing out of Andrew Luck right now is phenomenal. The fact that he is the only quarterback remaining that has victories over not one, but two playoff teams, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. It's basically come down to the point that when Andrew Luck wants to shine, he'll shine. I don't think New England's defense is that good. And in fact, I can be honest, is that Joe Flacco could easily won that game if he had just kept his head on a swivel. But he didn't. So, moving on. What I will say, however, is that I like to pick an upset and I like to pick a sure thing. So, I'm going with the sure thing first. Seattle will represent the NFC for the Super Bowl, going for a repeat. The first back-to-back champs since the Broncos, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be good. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be sweet to sit here and actually see Seattle actually get it done. That one's for you, Justin, and Andre Piper. And I'll tell you, I will guarantee this. If Seattle wins, convincingly, if Seattle wins come Sunday, APJ, Justin Helwig, Susan Wheeler, pay attention. So I want you to hear the words coming out of my mouth. If they win on Sunday, I want you to send me, a Seattle Seahawks jersey that I will literally wear from the time I get it, even to the day after the Super Bowl. If you can make that mess happen, I will do you this solid. In fact, I will wear this jersey when WWE comes to town, which I'll get to in just a moment. And as far as my upset goes, if you can sit here and own Peyton Manning, hurt, sick, or otherwise, you deserve a little bit of credibility. And honestly, I'm ready to hear that 2 claps to the Ric Flair. Woo! Yes, it was 3 claps, but it was so fucking worth it. It's the sweetest post-game celebration you could ever think of. So, my picks for the Super Bowl are Indianapolis Colts versus the Seattle Seahawks. I've got a good shot of going at least 1-1, so I will break 500. I guarantee I will break 500. As good as Green Bay is, that noise in the 12th man, it don't matter who that New York bozo is. Doesn't matter. Expect Seattle to deliver. Expect Russell Wilson to do what he does best. Expect the LOB to be in full force. And damn sure expect Marshawn Lynch to at least go a quarter, if not 3/4, of beast mode. As far as the AFC Championship goes, Tom Brady's only got one fucking eye right now. You better put him in an eye patch and call him a Buccaneer. Because he's going to be swashbuckling all over the place when it's all said and done. And I really hope that Indianapolis beats New England because, quite frankly, I think New England going against Seattle, as much as everybody wants it on paper, do you really want to see New England lose again? I didn't think so. So, that's my picks. Indianapolis versus Seattle in the Super Bowl. So, Andrew Luck, keep doing it. Seattle, you better tear down those star receivers like Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb and take down that limp mofo Aaron Rodgers and take them all out. That's what I'm talking about, Eric. That's what I'm talking about. You better get it done, Richard. You better get that shit done. That's right. Because when it all said and done, come Sunday, come the end of Sunday, 3 simple letters you got to worry about. L-O-B. But for now, this is the captain signing off, and this has been TLC. Church people, I'll see you on the other side.